How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the RV solar channel. Today we're working on an outdoors RV, the Titanium series here. A lot of fun doing a lot of stuff with it, and it is definitely giving us a challenge. Want to tell you all about it, and stick around if that is something that interests you.
Oh, hi.
That's the most trouble right there. No. JD's coming on to help us out on this one. We got Dave over there making some battery cables. Let's start with what I've been working on here. This was kind of my harebrained idea. We got this front area torn apart, and we're kind of making a smuggler's storage area. Because look at this, all this here. This is all empty space normally. This is all covered. See, we're pretty much gaining all this extra space here for batteries. We're going to put 3 SOK batteries here, side to side, just like that. I've secured it, basically built a platform for it to hold it all, to try and keep it being supported by the framing as much as possible. There is a little bit being supported by a hump in the middle. It's right here, that little thing right there. But I think it's going to be a great idea to store batteries inside, but not taking up much storage space. Then all the rest of the Victron components are going to be right here, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But one of the things I was thinking about was what JD just got done doing. JD, do you got a minute to explain what you were doing with that? With the you ever wonder why you need 4 or 5 of these extensions? I'm not even sure exactly what he did.
Every now and then, underneath the shower, we can show you in here.
Well, we're trying to run, one of the challenges in every solar install project is running our
AC main.
Yeah, our AC mains and the HDMI lines for the servo. And that was definitely a challenge in this one. So JD, what did we do?
It was. So we ended up having to, underneath the shower here, there actually is access panels right here and right here already. But we had to drill through this wall right here.
Excuse me.
On the bottom side underneath the shower, we had to drill. Whoa! I saw the spray on that one.
We're going to leave that in.
I might want to change that rug out.
It's fine. It wasn't. I was trying to hold it. All right.
Oh, okay.
It's a little dusty. Okay.
So down underneath here, we were making an access hole in. It's actually in this paneling right here to go on the back side, because over around that way is where the electrical box is, the breaker box. So you needed about 4 of these to make it up underneath there and all the way to touch the wall. And we still had about 4 inches to spare.
Okay.
So it's beautiful.
So we're set there then, huh?
Yes. Well, because the belly pan, did you explain yet?
No, I haven't. The challenges on that.
So this is a really good rig. It must be Arctic rated or whatever, cold weather rated. Because they have the
belly from Oregon.
Yeah, they get weather there. Yeah.
They do.
So the belly pan has that foil bubble wrap stuff on top of the belly pan. And then there's the tanks. Each tank is wrapped in insulation. Then there's like that waterproof tarp membrane type stuff.
Wow, that's way more than anybody else does.
And it's between that and the floor right here. That's where all the electrical is ran, is right underneath this floor. So it's above that tarp material layer. So trying to get up underneath there and actually see where wires were run was proven you'd have to really do a lot of cutting and hacking to actually make that work. So I decided, let's just see if we can find an easy path that's not where everything else is. And we were able to find it. We're going to be running from there down all the way over to the side. And then it's an easy straight shot, straight down, once we're outside the frame rails of the rig, the 2 big I-beams that go this way. Then it's a lot easier.
Sweet. That sounds great. And then got the servo display mounted. I kind of had a half idea, but JD implemented it, which was... What'd you do? Just you put a hole straight through here, through this framing member here, and
then straight down.
Yeah. So do we have those lines coming out here or somewhere? Or not yet?
Yeah, the servo screen lines are already down there.
Oh, awesome!
So they're ready to be tied into. We just got to get our runs. We're going to get our 6.3 pulled now.
Yeah, this is definitely coming together. Let's talk about the Victron equipment we're going to be putting on here. Here are the other 2 batteries. Got our links distributor for protecting everything. Got our solar breaker, die-hole breaker for the battery mains. Servo GX. We're doing a 250 by 100 amp controller. The most important part here is the 100 amp controller because we're going to be trying to put as much solar as we can possibly fit up here. And the, of course, star of the show, Multiplus 3000 2x120. That's a rock star. Something to keep in mind is there is a new model that's in production right now, and you can tell it by these black inserts right here. Give me a moment and I'll show you what else is interesting about it. All right, here's what's different about this one. JD can attest to this. This current sense is now... You want to tell us about it?
So many frustrations. The old current sense was like an 1/8 inch headphones jack plug that would cause so many fits with when you'd first boot it up and turn it on and get the system going, it would sense something, but it would throw all the readings off. It's just that it wouldn't logically look like it's a current sense problem. So what you'd have to do is get some headphones. I would take my kids' little cheap headphones and you plug it in and you unplug it from that little current sense port. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, there's not a sensor connected. We're going to disregard any readings we get from that.
So this solves that. So look for the black grommets on there, I guess. There may be other things new about this. This is the one thing that I saw right away and was happy to see. The only thing that would make it better is if these were screw down terminals. Amen. Can I get an amen?
Yes. Preach it.
Well, here we are on next day. Hopefully we'll be wrapping it up, most of it up today. We still got the solar to put on, but we've made a ton of progress, and I want to show you what we've done. So Dave's been hard at work here. We don't have lights in here at the moment because we don't have batteries hooked up. But here's how the lithium batteries are in. We had to build this platform, and then we made some ways to secure this down. We did pocket hole screws right down through there. So if you take all these cables off, we can pull the batteries out and they're still secure all at the same time. I ended up using some foam to kind of help adhere that to this edge. And then we've got some standoff boards here because that's what our big component board is going to connect to. So we're about ready to put that in, and we've got both lines run here for the AC in and AC out. So what we're doing is we're running from the plug over there all the way back underneath along the chassis and up into here, and then the other one back to the panel we're running through here, and JD talked about that yesterday, coming up into the shower here and then looping around through the bathroom and to the panel. And we have not connected things to the panel yet either. We're just kind of pretty much waiting for the board to go in here, and then we can start connecting everything up. So let's go take a look at how our board turned out. So we ended up putting a couple of holes in this board. We got a hole up here for solar to come down, and I think the plan is battery positive up there. Then DC main will probably come out through here. DC main, what I mean by that is that's the power where this system coming out of the Links distributor powers the rest of the 12-volt system in the coach. And the way we do that is we connect into kind of where the old batteries used to connect to. Makes it the easiest that way. What else we got going on? Obviously, Multiplus 2x120. And if I didn't talk about it before, this is something I'm doing now. Is I got these jumpers for DIN rails, and they happen to be the exact pitch for these, like this here. And you pop those in there, and they're preloaded, so that way the wires can just slide right in. You don't gotta fight with them quite so much. And then you just pull them out. The only thing you want to make sure you do is you don't turn on the inverter with that because they're dead shorted. And I learned that the hard way. JD, well, I don't know if he was here. Yeah. JD's work.
Nothing horrible happened.
No, it just overloads. Yep.
It didn't like it.
No, it did not. Got our servo landed here, and of course we always hot glue all these connections so they don't come loose on the road. That can happen. Trying to think what else we got going on in here. We do have our little voltage adapter here, so all the lights work on there. And I'm telling you, eventually we'll make enough of those and we'll have our website set up to sell those. I know a lot of people want them. I just got to find the time to get them or make them or something. All right, up on the roof here on this solar install, and we managed to get 8 solar panels up here. Let me tell you how we did it and even why we did what we did. There were 400 watts up here, and we took those down, and they were pretty much the same size. The only problem was they were the what's known as the 12 volt panel, and I really recommend do not use those. Even though this is a 12 volt system, really that should not even be considered when you're choosing your solar panels, what voltage system you have. Not at all. I really wish they wouldn't categorize them that way, but they do. Anyway, because these ones run at 45 volts or so, and those ones there run at 22. So the challenge there is, how do you actually get them to work together? Well, what we would have had to do is put both of those panels in series to make one giant 400 watt panel, and that would be equivalent to putting 2 of these panels in parallel, because then you'd have 2 panels running at 44, 45 some volts, another 2 panels running at 45, 42 some volts, and then what do we do with that? Yeah, then we'd series that whole set together. So it'd be this weird combination, and it just didn't make sense for me to do that, in my humble opinion. Just seemed like a lot of complication when we could just do things the way we typically do them, which is we put them in pairs with these. We do series. We'll get up here. Let's talk about it. Series, and then series, and series. So what I mean by that is these 2 are in series, and then it comes to this combiner. Then it splits, and we go over here, and this one and this one are together. And then there's a couple of combiners underneath that panel. This one and this one are together, that one and that one are together. And I always put panels, especially on a curved roof like this, I put them on the same side so that they're getting similar conditions. And that way they're going to perform much better. So that's what we did. Zip tied them down, used the zip tie clips to secure everything. All I've got to do is just verify that my voltages are good. And then I can screw them down, secure down all the, all these lines and all that. And then we're good to go here. Any questions on this, leave them down below. But as my new friend Kurt would say, and you got to watch a previous video to find that, he said, it's not that hard. Once you get into it, it's not that hard at all. Well, it's been a hot minute here, and the project's, well, all done. And Bear and I are going to show it to you. Right, bud? Yep. He's out here with me. So we had a lot of fun working on this one. Came out really well. All right, check that out. Would you even know that there's 3 batteries in here? We just tucked them right back in there. And if for some reason you're in this part of the video and you're going, what are they talking about? Rewind the video. Maybe someone sent you to a timestamp or Google or some kind of AI chatbot, whatever. But yeah, we made a whole structure back there to hold the battery securely, and then we actually secured that structure to this board, so it's kind of all locked in place, can't go anywhere, as Stads like to say. So did the 100 amp charger, links distributor, servo, doing that die-hole breaker. We just love those things. They stay cool. They don't burn up like typical switches, and it's a fuse or it's circuit protection. So if something happens, like you try and start 2 air conditioners at the same time, you don't pop that fuse, you just fuse. You pop the breaker and you just reset it, no matter where you are. And the other thing we do, we don't talk about it all the time, is we replace the screws here with thumb screws. And typically we'll just do 1. And the reason for that is then you can pull that cover off easily without having to get a stubby screwdriver in there. All that does is just holds a cover on there. And of course, on the roof, we got 1600 watts of solar, 8 panels that worked out pretty well. Let's take a look inside here. We do have a couple of things outside back there to show you, but we'll get to that. And again, we had to run a lot of wires through that compartment under the shower, through here, up here, to get to there. All right, let's let that iris adjust. And of course, we do GUI mods on most things now. It just makes the most sense for customers. Much simpler to explain how to operate the system and all that. So, system's performing pretty well. It looks like it lost about 9% overnight. So the other thing we did in here for this customer is we installed a Wii Boost. So we put that right here, and we got the inside antenna right here with plenty of cord that could be moved, up along the ceiling, maybe back in the bathroom area. The outside antenna is up here, and what we ended up doing is we ran the cord actually along the roof, along the solar panels to the vent, and there's a vent pipe that comes right down here. So we just drilled into that, sealed it up real good, of course, and then came down into there. That seemed like the best way to handle that. And of course, connected everything in the box there. What we do there, in this case, the converter, because people ask a lot of times, what do you do with the converter? Well, what we typically do in this situation when it's built into the box and it's not just a plug on the back, we typically unplug it if it has a plug on the back of your converter box. If it doesn't, just disconnect the hot line or the black wire, tape it up, cap it off, so that the converter no longer gets power. Actually, we didn't do that on this one. Now I'm remembering what we did. We turned the breaker off and taped it. I like to do that when possible because if something were to go wrong with the Victron system there, you can always flip that breaker back on if you have shore power and charge your batteries. It won't charge the batteries 100%, but it's better than nothing. So here's a nice little add-on that customer asked, and we hadn't really done it before. We've got a couple ideas on how we might approach this, but we added this little port here, this little cover, right? Let's get that all the way off. One of those guys for one of these guys. Starlink, right? So you can put your Starlink cord right through there, and then connect that so that you can close that door. So that's a big challenge, and then the cord just comes right out there. And you put it wherever you need it. We have played around with a Starlink to Ethernet adapter, and then you can get weather-tight or weather-rated external Ethernet adapters or plugs. So then you plug the Ethernet right into the side of the rig. That worked. We tested it working, but this is what the customer wanted, so this is what we ended up with, and I think it looks great. So if you want solar on your RV, your school bus, there it is, a Prevo bus, or any kind of thing you got, Class A, ice houses, we're talking about doing those for a number of folks. Love to hear from you. Check us out at sotasolar.com. And until next time, I guess we'll see you next time. And for those of you that like to watch the end of the video, I'll give you some bonus content here. Bear has loved riding on our solar golf cart here. He just loves to cruise around. He just hops up here every time I go anywhere in it. He just cruises around. So, yeah, we like to go for little rides around the property, and he just loves it. We'll take you a quick tour of the place. Yeah, we got a tree that's septic company moved. It did not survive. Oh well. Got some molehills. Bear likes to, or not molehills, gopher holes. Bear, oh, we're almost tipping over. Bear likes to dig those up sometimes. Got our old work trailer. We got a pool in there. We never set that up this summer. Got our cornfield here. Yeah, we're on the other part of the property. We got our bus here. We're always messing around with that a little bit. Whoa, 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 a little bumpy. Or the suspension on this golf cart needs to be improved. What do you think, Mr. Bear? Sometimes when Bear finds a rabbit or a squirrel, he will just jump right after it. And look at all these raspberries here. Bear's collar might go off. Look at all these. I gotta pick these. Covered. Oh, we gotta back up. Oh, look at these beautiful raspberry footage. All right, we better, what do you think, Mr. Bear? We better get back inside, huh? We got some more work to do. We're not done today, are we? So we're hoping to open up a lot of this area up for maybe boondockers welcome and that sort of stuff. If you're in the area and you just want to boondock out here, shoot us a note. I'd be more than happy to let you